नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणे हरे कृष्णा. So today we will continue the same words 9.11 avajananti mamunuda manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Foolish fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be. So we have read the purport till this place. Right? We'll read the next purport and then we'll discuss a little bit. There are many controversies between the impersonalist and the personalist about the Lord's appearance as human being. But if we consult Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the authoritative text for understanding the science of Krishna, then we can understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is not an ordinary man, although he appeared on this earth as ordinary human. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, when the sages headed by Shaunaka inquired about activities of Krishna, they said, Kruttavan Kila Karmani Saha Ramena Keshava Ati Martyani Bhagavan Kudha Kapata Manushaha. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with Balram, played like human being, and so must he perform many superhuman acts. Bhagavatam 1.1.20. The Lord's appearance as a man bewilders the foolish. No human being could perform the wonderful acts that Krishna performed while he was present on this earth. When Krishna appeared before his father and mother, Vasudeva and Devaki, he appeared with four hands. But after the prayers of parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child, as stated in Bhagavatam 10:346. Babhuva Prakruta Shishuhu. He became just like an ordinary child, an ordinary human being. Now, here again it is indicated that Lord's appearance as an ordinary human being is one of the features of his transcendental body. In the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also it is stated that Arjuna prayed to Krishna's form of four hands. Teneva rupena chaturbhujena. After revealing this form, Krishna, when petitioned by Arjuna, again assumed his original human-like form, Manusim Rupam. These different features of Supreme Lord are certainly not those of ordinary human being. Some of those who deride Krishna and who are infected with Mayavad philosophy quote the following words from the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.20 and 21 to prove that Krishna is an ordinary man. Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma Vastitaha Sada, the Supreme Present is present in every living entity. We should better note of this particular verse from Vaishnava Acharya like Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur instead of following the interpretation of unauthorized persons who deride Krishna. Jiva Goswami commenting on this verse says that Krishna in his plenary expansion as Paramatma is situated in moving and non-moving entities as Supersoul. So many neophyte devotee who simply gives his attention to the Archamurti, the form of Supreme Lord in temple, and does not respect other living entities is uselessly worshipping the form of Lord in the temple. There are three kinds of devotees of Lord, and the neophyte is the lowest stage. The neophyte devotee gives more attention to the deity in the temple than to other devotees. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wants that this sort of mentality should be corrected. A devotee should see that because Krishna is present in everyone's heart as Paramatma, every body is embodiment or temple of the Supreme Lord. So as So as one offers respect to temple of the Lord, he should similarly properly respect each and everybody in which Paramatma dwells. Everyone should therefore be given proper respect and proper, should not be neglected. There are also many impersonalists who deride temple worship. They say that since God is everywhere, why should one restrict himself to temple worship? But if the God is everywhere, is he not in the temple or in the deity? Although the personalist and the impersonalist will fight with one another perpetually, a perfect devotee in Krishna consciousness knows that although Krishna is the supreme personality, he is all pervading as confirmed in Brahma Samhita. Although his personal abode is Goloka Vrindavan and he is always staying there, by his different manifestations of energy, by his plenary expansion, he is present everyone in all parts of material and spiritual creation. It's very long purport, but very important uh, for us because it helps to understand the transcendental nature of Krishna's body. So, in the like Srila Prabhupada mentions that when Arjuna saw the universal form, he was at the end, he was very fearful and he requested Krishna to come to his original form, mm, considering of two hands and carrying the flute. So then Krishna comes to the his original form. So that is the normal form of a human being. So we understand that Krishna, when he came to this planet, uh, while in Vrindavan or in his pastimes in Mathura or Dwarka, the form that Krishna was in is his transcendental form. And when Krishna comes, he comes in his original form. But like the verse says that fools, people who don't have proper intelligence or who are covered by the ignorance, they think that because Krishna has the body similar like our body, then they consider him as a normal person. So yesterday we were discussing that this is not now. When Krishna was present, there were so many people who didn't accept Krishna as the supreme. They just thought that Krishna is some uh, devta or who has extra mystic powers and by which he is doing all these things. Even Duryodhan and Dushasan, they used to always call Krishna as a coward boy with mystic powers. Right? And they used to say that he uses his mystic powers to do all these things. Uh, so that time also people were there who didn't understand the nature of Krishna's body and they thought that he is a normal person. So similarly, there are people who don't believe or who argue that the ultimate truth is a human form or a form itself. So they don't believe. They say that, okay, the ultimate truth is void. It's just a light. And from there, Krishna appears. Uh, So they think that Krishna also appears or he takes a body like ours from the Brahman. But Krishna is clearly mentioning that uh, the avajananti means these people who think like this, they are taking the exactly opposite meaning of what should be taken. So what they understand is Krishna has taken the shelter of this human form, but actually it is Krishna's form gives shelter to this void or Brahman, but they don't understand because they are Muda. And they don't understand Parambhava, the transcendental nature of the body. So that's why Krishna in the fourth chapter says that those who understand the transcendental nature of my appearance and my activities, he passes through this world, or he is free from this material world. He achieves the ultimate goal. Why? Because their consciousness and their intelligence understands that Krishna is the supreme. He is the basis of everything, and he is not of this material world. And my duty or my goal is to connect with Krishna. And when someone connects with Krishna, he automatically is goes beyond the three modes of material nature. So when we go beyond the modes, it is actually the spiritual uh, existence, right? So that's why Krishna, in this chapter, when he says most confidential knowledge, this is one of the part of one confidential knowledge, that Krishna's body is param bhava, it is transcendental, and when Krishna comes himself, he comes in his original form. And if we understand that and we develop faith in that information, then our path to the achieving the supreme goal starts. Because all the Vedas, all the Shastra, all the Purana, they are trying to bring everyone to this understanding that this material world is temporary. Whatever we see around us is temporary. Whatever body we have, even if we go to the higher planets like planets of Brahma also, still it is temporary. And there is something beyond this temporary world, which is the goal of human form of life. So Krishna here also uses the word Bhuta Maheshwaram. I am the shelter of all the living beings. So that is the confidential part, that we should not think that there exists something which does not belong to Krishna. There is nothing like this. Everything belongs to Krishna. And everything is created or resting on Krishna. Like he says, the pearls strung on a thread. So Krishna says, I am that thread on which everything is existing. Right? So when we get convinced and we get strong Shraddha in this, then what happens? So what happens with these people, Muda, who think Krishna is like this? What happens to them? That Krishna will explain in the next verse. And how to go beyond this understanding, that also Krishna will explain in the following verses. So that we will continue see from our next discussions. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So any comments or anybody wants to add in a few minutes? Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.